Meeting to order, 6 o'clock. Welcome, everybody. There are agendas located on the table outside of the meeting room. If anybody needs one, this is a public meeting for which public notice has been provided. Proceedings are being broadcast and recorded and can be viewed online at the City of Casper's YouTube channel. I'm getting an echo. First, I'd like to read some informational statements about the meeting. Use of cellular telephones is not permitted, and such telephones shall be turned off or otherwise silenced during a planning and zoning meeting. When speaking to the Planning and Zoning Commission, please clearly state your name and address. Keep your remarks pertinent to the issue being considered by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do not repeat the same statements that were made by a previous speaker. Speak to the Planning and Zoning Commission as you would like to be spoken to. Do not address applicants or other audience members directly. Make your comments at the podium and directed to the chairperson and Planning and Zoning Commission. I'd like to remind everyone present that the City of Casper Planning and Zoning Commission is a volunteer body composed of members of the Casper community and appointed by the City Council. Commission acts as a quasi-judicial panel, making final decisions on some items and recommendations to the City Council on others as dictated by law. The Commission may only consider evidence about any case as it relates to existing law. Commission cannot make or change planning or zoning laws, regulations, policies, or guidelines. We are down 2 commissioners tonight. I want to excuse Commissioner Hall and Commissioner Wingeter. And the next item on the agenda this evening is consideration of the minutes from the last Planning and Zoning Commission meeting held on August 10th. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes from August 10th? Buddy? Okay. If not, the chair entertains a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve.
So moved by Commissioner Bates. Seconded by Commissioner Polchik. Any discussion? Nope. Please cast your votes. Please record the votes.
With all members present voting aye, the motion carries.
Fantastic. Next item on the agenda this evening are the scheduled public hearings. Before we get started, just a reminder to all this evening's applicants that it takes 4 affirmative votes to pass any item, regardless of the number of commissioners present. If any applicants would like to postpone their case in anticipation of the possibility of more commissioners being present next month, then I would ask you to speak up when your case is announced. First public hearing tonight will be for consideration of case ZOC 469-2023, concerning request for zone change of 350 and 410 Southeast Wyoming Boulevard from a PUD or planned unit development to a C2 general business. The applicant is Curve TV LLC. Are the applicants present and do you wish to proceed? All right. Can we please get a staff's report at this time?
Curve TV LLC has applied for a zone change of 3 lots totaling approximately 1.46 acres located at the northwest corner of Gannett Street and Wyoming Boulevard from PUD to C2 general business. The subject properties include a vacant former bank building, a parking lot, and a former Village Inn restaurant building. The applicants plan to demolish the vacant bank building in order to facilitate the redevelopment of the site. Although the PUD zoning of the property will allow the applicants to redevelop the site, the PUD zoning classification is burdensome with regard to the need to develop development guidelines from the ground up prior to consideration of any site plan or development plan. In addition, the PUD zoning classification requires a set aside of usable open space as well as an architectural and design review component that complicate the review of future projects much more than standard zoning regulations do. Existing land uses in the surrounding area are a mix of single and multifamily residential, recreational park, commercial, and retail. Section 1712-170 of the Municipal Code provides guidance on zone change requests and requires the Community Development Director to provide a report to the Commission as to the request's conformance with the Comprehensive Land Use Plan. The Generation Casper Comprehensive Land Use Plan also provides a future land use plan, future FLU, which is found in Chapter 4 on page 4-26. The FLU is an illustrative plan that identifies the physical distribution of land uses and forms the basis for future zoning and land use regulations. Map designates the desired future use of the subject property as employment mixed use center. Page 4-34 of the comprehensive plan provides the primary uses within the area that designated employment mixed use centers as employment, institutional, civic, and limited multifamily housing. Mr. Chairman, there were no public comments received on this case. Obviously no recommended conditions because conditions are not allowed with a zone change, and there are 5 exhibits I'd like to enter. A is the application for a zone change. B, public notice sent to property owners. C, legal notice sent to the newspaper. D, photo of the public notice sign on the property. And E, memo to the chairperson and members of the planning and zoning commission. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Alrighty. Thank you for the report. Exhibits are noted. Anybody on the commission have any preliminary questions for staff about the report? Done. Alrighty. Next, I'd ask that the applicant and or their authorized representative come forward to the microphone. State your name and address for the record and explain your application to the commission, please.
Good evening, Chris Hatch, 2180 South, 1300 East, Salt Lake City.
Hey, can you explain your application to us? What do you plan on doing?
Yeah, you bet. So in anticipation, we'll be back here shortly in front of you with a proposed site plan to scrape and redo the bank site. You mentioned former Village Inn. It's now the Los Amigos, so
Right.
hopefully everybody's been out to the new restaurant. So I was over there earlier today. Great food. So we're looking forward to getting a 2,400 square foot drive-through building through the process, and that's what we would follow this up as. As we worked with staff, it was recommended that we get rid of current zoning and go for more of a C2 zone, which would make the process, it's a little more cumbersome there with the planned unit development.
Yeah.
And kind of an antiquated zone. I think you guys are trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. Alrighty. Okay. Any of the commissioners have any questions for the applicant? No? Alrighty. Thank you. Yeah, just leave it right there. Thanks. Now is the time when we ask for members of the audience to come forward and either support or in opposition to this case. Please remember to state your name and address clearly into the microphone for the record. Is there anyone wishing to speak in support of the case? If so, please come forward. Anybody wishing to speak in opposition to the case? All right. Say nobody wishing to speak in either support or opposition. Chair hereby closes the public comment portion of the public hearing and calls for a motion to approve, deny, table, or postpone to a date certain. Motion.
I move to approve ZOC 469-2023.
We have a motion to approve, so moved by Commissioner Joe,
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Bates. Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Questions, no discussion? Boy, you guys are easy tonight. All right. Being no further discussion, we'll now vote on the motion, which is ZOC 469-2023 concerning a request for zone change of 350 and 410 Southeast Wyoming Boulevard from a PUD to a C2. So please cast your votes. Please count the votes.
With all members present, voting aye, the motion carries.
All right. Fantastic. Your zone change has been approved. So would staff please advise the applicant of their next steps?
Sure. This board is a recommendation to the city council, so it'll be scheduled for an upcoming council meeting and we'll let you know. Notices get a lot again to neighbors. So it'll be a public hearing, so probably the first meeting.
Thank you. Next public hearing tonight will be for consideration of case CUP 488-2023. Request for a conditional use permit to allow for a second accessory building in excess of the 400 square foot limitation to allow for the construction of a 1,152 square foot greenhouse located at 2100 South Cedar Street. The applicant is Shannon Colgan. Is the applicant present? Would please get staff report at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The owners of the property located at 2100 South Cedar Street have applied for a conditional use permit to allow a second accessory building in excess of the 400 square foot limitation in order to construct a 1152 square foot greenhouse. The intent of section 1712-121 and the way that it has always been interpreted in the past is to allow for one large detached garage or accessory building and up to two smaller sheds. The larger detached garage or accessory building is permitted to be up to 1,500 square feet in size or 15% of lot area, whichever is less. The two sheds are limited to a combined 400 square feet in size. The Planning and Zoning Commission has considered numerous conditional use permits for detached garages or accessory buildings larger than 1,500 square feet or 15% of the lot area pursuant to section 1712-121 F4. In that there is an existing detached garage on the property already. Any additional detached structures or sheds are limited to a maximum of 400 square feet combined. In the past, the interpretation has always been that the ability to apply for an oversized structure applies only to the main detached garage or accessory building and not the smaller sheds. However, in plain language, the verbiage of section 1712-121 F4 is somewhat confusing and unclear. Given the lack of clarity, the applicants are requesting a conditional use permit to allow for the construction of a 1,152 square foot detached structure, a greenhouse in excess of the 400 square foot permitted. The Planning and Zoning Commission has never considered a similar request as far as staff knows. As with all conditional use permit requests, when determining whether to approve or deny the request, the Planning and Zoning should consider each of the relevant factors found in section 1712-240H, and those are listed on page 2 of your staff report. Mr. Chairman, we have one recommended condition, no public comments, and I have 5 exhibits. A is the conditional use permit application. B, public notice sent to property owners. C, legal notice sent to the newspaper. D, photo of the property with a public notice sign. And E, memo to the chairperson and members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. That concludes my report. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you for the report. Exhibits are noted. Does anybody on the commission have any preliminary questions? All righty. Excuse me. Next, I would ask that the applicant and or their authorized representative come forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and explain your application to the commission, if you would.
Would be okay if we both came up.
Absolutely.
My name's Alex Bolden. I reside at 2100 South Cedar Street.
And I am Shannon Colgan. I also reside at 2100 South Cedar Street.
So to address the application, we wanted to just address the required findings and kind of the relevant factors. We wanted to specifically express that this is not a commercial in terms of the relevant factors, in terms of people coming and going, other people occupying structures, off-street parking, things like that, that a consideration in this permit. We also wanted to specifically address excuse me, the size, yeah. Thank you. Right over. According to our interpretation of the 1712-121, it had been interpreted that the larger detached building is permitted up to 1,500 square feet or 15% of the lot area, which is ever is greater. Our lot is unnaturally large for the city of Casper. About 15% of that would be about 5,600 square feet. We're asking for just a little over 2,000, so slightly larger than that 1,500 square foot area.
And the 2,000 is including the detached garage.
So that's the garage that's already on the property plus the greenhouse that we'd be asking for. The way we had interpreted that was it seems like most of this is related to the minimum lot size in R2, which is the zoning district, which is a minimum of 4,000 square feet, which seems to be where that 400 feet seems to have come from in terms of measurement. With the 37,000 square feet, it's about just a little over 5% of the lot size in terms of the space that we're asking to use.
I mean, I could talk for hours about soil science and greenhouses, and I can't do any of that, but.
Someday I'll take you up on that. Greenhouses are cool.
Yeah, we really just want to use the greenhouse as a personal use. It's not a commercial project. It is obviously a little bit large for two people, but any abundance that we have, once we get it up and going, we love to be able to get back to the community, to the governor's nurse, grow a little more extra program. Donate, sell maybe at the farmers markets, anything that we can do. Mhm.
And to that point, I would just address like the required findings for the conditional use. Feel that it's inconsistent with this code just because of that idea that it seems on our interpretation, of course, that, you know, this is designed for those lots that are those 4,000 to 5,000 square feet where we don't have a packet full of buildings that should push the fire hazards, things like that. We're asking for much less than 15% of the lot space. And in terms of the public convenience and welfare, we don't think it'll significantly impact our residential street or our area. And in terms of the welfare, we hope to be able to, you know, kind of get back into the local food source. It would be a 4 seasons greenhouse is what the USDA recommends. So hopefully the idea is that we'd be able to grow all year, instead of just the 2 months that one use.
Right.
And then we feel it's in conjunction with the compatible adjacent land uses. This is just be a residential greenhouse, albeit bigger than average one, but just a residential area.
And the area would still be used as a garden, so it's not going to be used any differently. It's just going to be usable for more of the year.
For the year.
Is really the only thing we're asking.
Okay.
So are there like concrete footers or anything?
No,
So it's
sir.
not,
What we're looking for, right now is to do a high tunnel, a hoop house, and apply for the NCRS hoop house, high tunnel program. There's a photo of it up there. It does have sort of a semi-solid end structure. The building's into.
it's not a permanent structure like,
No, sir, it's got pipes that you
right.
pound into the ground, and then it comes across with ribs and they get screwed together. So technically it could be removed if there was a reason to do so. The film should be 5-year rated. Yet to see in Wyoming wind.
Yes.
But that was what we quoted, so,
What mill did you go with on that?
it's an 8 mil,
Double layer.
double layer. Correct. It has, the reason that it's a 4 season is it has an air gap and it has a fan that sits inside and it pulls the heat from inside into the air gap to explain a little bit better.
Do you understand and agree with the recommended condition? Staff reports? Okay. All righty. Thank you. Appreciate that. Does any other commissioners have any questions?
Thank you.
I don't. All right. Thank you. Now's the time when we ask for members of the audience to come forward in either support or in opposition to this case. Please remember to state your name and address clearly for the record. Is there anyone wishing to speak in support of this case? Anybody wishing to speak in opposition to this case? Okay. Saying nobody wishing to speak either in support or opposition to the case, chair hereby closes the public comment portion of the public hearing and calls for a motion to approve with conditions, deny, table, or postpone to a date certain. We would like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve CUP 488-2023.
Use that. I'd have the condition in there, right?
The conditional use is consistent with the spirit and purpose and intent of of this title and will not substantially impair the appropriate use of neighboring properties and will serve the public need, convenience, and welfare. On this basis, I move to approve CUP 482-2023, allowing a second accessory building in excess of the 400 square foot limitation to allow for the construction of 1,152 square foot greenhouse located at 2100 South Cedar Street with the recommended condition stated in the staff report.
All righty, we have a motion to approve with the condition. So moved by Commissioner Hutchison. Any second?
Second.
Commissioner Polachek. Seconded by Commissioner Polachek. Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Questions, discussion? Boy. Moving right along. All righty. There being no further discussion, we will now vote on the motion, which is. Thank you. To approve with conditions CUP 488-2023. Please cast your votes. Please record the vote.
All members present voting aye, the motion carries.
Fantastic. So your conditional use permit has been approved. Will staff please advise the applicant of the next steps?
So this should be the end of it, unless there's an appeal we received. That doesn't mean it happened. It takes me about a week to put the paperwork put together, and we'll have to have meetings on it. Then I'll let you know.
Thank you, folks. This concludes our public hearings for this evening. Next item on the agenda is special issues. There are none listed on the agenda for this month, so we will move on to communications. Chair's calls for any communications from the commission. Anything special happening?
We do a public first. Okay, sorry.
Nothing? You guys are really boring me. All right. Anything from the community development director or the city planner?
Just a reminder that Tuesday we have a training. It's actually, we're gonna be talking about some potential ordinance amendments, based on one of our cases. So trying to clarify some things, so you can probably anticipate what that might be about. And, we'll see you on Tuesday.
All right. Sounds good. Chair calls for communications from the city council liaison. Jonathan, you're boring tonight too.
Do what?
I said, you're boring tonight too, huh? Yeah. No worries. All right. Chair calls for communication from the Historic Preservation Commission liaison. That's me, and I didn't make it to the meeting this month, so we do. How's the ornaments? Are they on their way? Fantastic. So the first round of Christmas tree ornaments should be here soon. Yeah, we'll be purchasing them through the Fort Casper Museum. So as soon as they show up, make sure you go get one if you want one, because they're gonna be limited edition.
Limited edition MCHS, the first year.
Yeah.
When do you think they'll be available?
I don't have an ETA yet.
Okay.
I'll let you all know as soon as I find out.
Oh, is that gonna be like public notice and paper and all that?
Yes.
Okay,
On our Facebook page and all that fun stuff. So,
gotcha. Okay.
yeah, they're pretty cool.
They're cool.
All righty. Chair calls for communications from the OYD, Old Yellowstone District Liaison. Joe? Where we at
Well, we
going?
took a tour of the new,
That's right.
condominiums.
Yeah, the new townhouse,
The new- Yeah,
big fancy, expensive townhouses down
yeah,
there.
very nice, very nice.
Great workmanship. It's amazing how quiet they were inside. Very well insulated and a great view
Yeah.
when you're up on the top looking out at the city.
Did you buy two?
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for the next building. I'm gonna buy all four of those. Okay.
Yeah, but, they went all out on them. I mean,
They did.
just top quality.
Yeah.
Everything on them and in them is,
Well, I don't think there's anything in Casper like that, so it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Yeah, they said that they had 4 showings just the week after we toured them, so. Well, haven't heard how those went. but
So all of them are for sale. Nobody bought any when they were building them.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and they've got the foundation poured for the next building of 4. So those will be going up soon. So. All righty. Chair calls for any communications from anybody else present. Everybody got up and left. Nothing more? All righty. Final item on the agenda for this evening is adjournment. Next meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission is scheduled for Thursday, October 12th at 6 p.m. here at the Lyric. Being no further business to discuss, Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make motion?
Got it. So moved by Commissioner Bates, seconded by
I'll second.
Commissioner Eskew. I figured he'd could. Any discussion? No, all right, then we are adjourned. 6:25 PM.
Not the same without Terry around.
Right? It was kind of quiet without.
Yeah, I'm not the only one to say that.